Chasing your dream. My name is Iman, which means faith, with my name and my smile. I overcome all the obstacles in my life. I am excellent cooker, chess player, swim lover, and a poet teller. My dad taught me how to be dependable, and my mom taught me how to take care of my family, even in challenging situations. In Arabic country, citizenship extended from the nationality of the father and not residency. The mother can't give her kids the nationality. This was my case. I born in Kuwait from an Iraqi father and a Kuwaiti mother. I was living a happy life until the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait 1990. It cost me admission to my dream college, medical college. Fair paying career. I was paid 1/3 of a citizen pay. Affordable residency, affordable housing, and affordable medical insurance. By all means, my life took a new route. I was 14 when I asked my father, let's immigrate. He replied, I can't leave my country. For my father, for me, and for all the people who born and lived in Kuwait, it is our country, but from their perspective, we are a foreigner. They discriminate me as soon as they see my documents. I married an Iranian interior designer in 2003. He has his own business. In Kuwait, if you would like to be a self-employed, you need to partner with a Kuwaiti citizen who will take 45% of your income. I told him, let's immigrate, and he refused. He is the youngest child of his family, and he was worried on his mother. In Islam, we need to take care of our parents and make their deeds above our deeds. In 2006, I get pregnant with my older son, Umar. I did not want my son to undergo all this hardship and the limited choices through which I had to suffer. And I knew that if you're born in the United States, you will be a citizen. Those factors led me to search for a way to travel to the United States. My sister, she moved to the United States after getting married to a US citizen. It was a chance for me to apply for a visiting visa, come here, and she hosts me in her house, give birth to my son, take his document, and go back to Kuwait. This was the plan. I applied for immigration visa when I was an 8-month pregnant. I took the visa and I came here to the United States. I stayed with my sister, I gave birth to my son Umar, and I go back to Kuwait. In 2009, I get pregnant with my second son, Ahmed. I planned to do the same, but it was not that easy. I applied for visa 3 times and get denied because of the Iraq war. I was lucky because my brother-in-law that time was a minister of electricity who wrote for me a letter for the consular, the US consular in Kuwait, asking her to approve my visa for visiting visa, and she approved it. I came here, I gave birth to my son Ahmed, took his document, and go back to Kuwait. I didn't have another child. In 2010, my husband diagnosed with esophagus cancer. He lost his business. And I relied on the charities, GoFundMe, to pay the rent and get his treatment. The treatment will be more than what a citizen will pay. In 2012, I was diagnosed with the breast cancer. I was fighting with all my strength to be there for a sick husband and the 2 kids. I still remember after the chemotherapy when I am hardly walking, hardly standing and taking care of my family, keeping it secret from my mom. My mom, she is a multiple sclerosis, and I don't want her to know about my sickness because she will be sick more. I told her I have a non-cancerous tumor, and I will go to do a surgery just to remove it. In fact, I was going into mastectomy. In 2013, I was in my uncle's funeral when someone was congratulating a family member immigrating to Canada. I was all ears to know about the process. I applied through the United Nations since it is really difficult to gain an immigration visa through the embassy. It took us 2 years to get the clearance to immigrate to the United States. The immigration officials took my husband's fingerprint and had him sign documents from his hospital bed. He never made it. He passed away 4 months before the immigration set into motion. In Islam, after the husband died, the woman needs to go to her family house and sit there for 4 months and 10 days. Returning to my family house was helpful for me to sell the apartment, sell the apartment stuff, and get rid of all the things I don't need, and without explaining why. My goal was to be ready to immigrate, but I didn't let anyone know what was my plan. The trip took us 72 hours from Oregon, Dubai, New York, Texas, then Oregon. I still remember I reached here maybe at 12 in the morning. The Catholic Church came to me and they congratulated me and they gave me some money, they gave me some food, and they went to my sister. I kept my sister awake that day. Next day it was, I think, a working day. Yeah. I faced some cultural differences, but I knew that when I was planning to immigrate and I was ready to adapt it. I didn't face any language barriers since I studied English as a second language in Kuwait. My kids were in the private schools because they cannot join public school if they are non-citizen. I hold them a year when I moved to the United States to make sure that they are not facing any issues in their schools, thinking the language will be the only issue they will have. But I was wrong. They are speaking English better than me. They are teaching me now how to say water, since I can't pronounce it the way they do. They are a student. Ahmed volunteering in his school cafeteria. Omar, he started an Arabic teaching language in his school. I am really proud of them. Being a single mom, there is a lot in my plate. I didn't find job directly because my bachelor degree in computer science was not recognized here. I tried to take some training classes here and there. And because I was a SNAP recipient, DHS enrolled me in the program called Jobs. Through this program, I went to Portland Community College, and I worked there as an ELL resource room assistant. I was helping the immigrant and non-English speaker to get computer skills, searching for a job, filling out an application. So I used all my computer skills to help the non-English speaker and also the English speaker who were referred from the DHS so that they can get a job. Because of no funds, the program ended and I applied for unemployment. In 2015, they declared me cancer-free. I cooked a lot of goodies. Yeah. I think Anne still remember. And celebrate with my coworker at PCC. It was a ray of sunshine. During my UI first appointments, the employment specialist, after checking my skills, my resume, he asked me, "Do you want to work here? We have a temp job." I replied, "Sure." He took my resume and went to my manager. Then he came back and asked me, "Can you do a short interview?" I said, now? He said, yes. I said, sure. I went to my manager. She asked me a couple of questions. Then I was hired as a temp. After some time, they opened a limited duration position, and I applied to get this job. Now, as an employment specialist with the state of Oregon, I am helping people to reach their goals, teaching resume, interview classes, computer open skill labs. I always motivate them to chase their dreams. Don't give up. Sometimes it's hard, but you need to think of your goals and don't let anything stop you from achieving it. In 2017, I applied for Habitat for Humanity, and I was lucky to be selected among 55 applications, 9 homeowners. I worked 350 hours, holding electric drill, hammer, saw, etc. It was a new experience for me. In Kuwait, construction is a men's job. Now I am living in my own house. Yesterday it is a year now. I moved September 17, 2018. It was a dream, and it's something I couldn't achieve in Kuwait. Women can't own property or a house given by the government, but men do. In the 4 years here in the United States, I achieved more than I achieved in my 40 years living in Kuwait. I think you figure out how old I am. At the end of my story, I would like to share these tips. Don't give up your dreams. Immigration to the United States. Having my own house was my dream, and I was chasing this dream until it became true. The more we all share, the more we all have. You can see this if everyone has a half cup of water and everyone shares some to other, no one will have an empty cup. To be kind is more than to be right. Use kindness and accept that we think differently. And at the end of my story, quoting from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the best richness is the richness of the soul. This quote affects how I am dealing with everything in my life. The real richness is when you feed your soul with dignity and respect to everyone. Thank you so much.